Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 31st of 2023, and given that we are inching closer toward that D23 event, in which that's going to be the destination of the up-and-coming Snow White official trailer by Disney to showcase exactly what's in store with this film, of course, we all know that it's only going to create more backlash, and it's going to create bigger problems for Disney to deal with for the next couple of months after that, leading up to its planned March of 2024 release date window. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that there's a lot of things happening right now with Snow White 2024, given that they have Plan A and Plan B. Plan A is to re-edit the entire film. Plan B is to do some reshoots, of course. WGA and SAG is getting in the way of making that even possible, and even if those were non-existent, they would have to delay this movie even if they started reshoots today. But moving onwards, there's a lot of things happening with the current trailer of Snow White and the actual live-action remake that features Rachel ZEGLER and Gal Gadot. Let's get into all the specific details about what's up and coming. Now, we know that this trailer is a, for sure, make or break situation for Disney. I think that once the trailer drops, you are going to see Disney fall apart piece by piece, day by day, leading up to the release of this film. And I've said this many times that I really do believe that Snow White is going to be one of those ironic film releases where it's going to be the very film that is going to taint Disney further and permanently, because it's a film that really started Disney and brought them on their feet, and now this is going to bring them on their knees. There's no doubt about this. So anyway, with Snow White 24 getting much backlash, Disney is already preparing to drop the official footage at this year's D23. One major development has to do with what will be showcased within this trailer. Now, one sequence in particular that is said to be the biggest reveal by the two trailer companies that are working on this series of footage involves Gal Gadot as the evil queen approaching the magic mirror in a dark castle. A shocking turn of events of this shot involves the first appearance of the magic mirror that is reportedly gender swapped and is a female's face with long blonde hair that appears very murky in design. This is when a line of dialogue from the evil queen delivers dialogue about Snow White. However, the series of dialogue presented in the upcoming footage is reportedly far different from the original 1937 film, and the meaning of the fairest of them all is completely altered. Another sequence that is demonstrated by the upcoming footage involves a shot of Snow White riding a horse to the dark castle with Jonathan on the back of said horse with Snow White. This works in conjunction with Rachel ZEGLER's past comments that Snow White will be the leader in this film instead of Jonathan. Now guys, let me stop here in case some of you are like, who in the world is Jonathan? This guy is basically a watered down version of Prince Florian, alright? We're gonna call Jonathan a Prince Florian the Light. Let's just call him that, alright? Because he's treated like a prince in this movie, but he's not at the same exact time. They're not going to call him a prince, they're not going to make him appear like a prince, but he's going to be the supposed insert of that replacement of the character, which just makes no sense. You might as well have left him out of the story if he's going to do nothing but follow and trample in Snow White's footsteps. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is the fact that they really seem to be following with a lot of theming of Snow White and the Huntsman, where it's going to be a very dark and gritty movie. It's going to be very Lord of the Rings-esque with elements of Harry Potter thrown in there. Yes, I know, for those of you that have seen those franchises, it makes absolutely no sense to mix that with Snow White. It may have worked with the Huntsman because it wasn't Disney per se, but this comes after, people like Chapek and Iger, the two Disney CEOs, Chapek being the previous one, had promised that this movie was going to be a beat-for-beat take on the original. That turned out to be a complete lie. So, we have D23 up and coming. It's just a little over 1 week away, alright? And there's a lot of things that we're going to discuss about this trailer once it drops. Now, moving on further, this is when things get even all the more involved. A brief glimpse of the 7 magical creatures, also known as the 7 dwarfs, are currently seen in the early cut of the trailer, in which the 7 magical creatures are all holding hands and spinning around in a circle around a campfire at night. Now, this sequence works also in conjunction with past leaks about the 7 dwarfs eventually telling scary ghost-like stories about the evil queen and her evil brother during the second act of the film. One of the more controversial shots involves a tease of Jonathan singing about being a hopeless romantic and how love will eventually find him. It's a brief shot, and the shot is only sampled in the current cut of the trailer, as well as the music, that Disney has 2 companies working hard on to this day. Now, this comes weeks after Disney fired the initial marketing team that was actually within Disney working on the trailer. Now, here's the interesting thing about this, is that so far, what I gather from what's being inserted in this footage and what the 2 trailer companies are working on for Disney is that they want to make it widely known to the entire audience out there that the magic mirror will be gender swapped. And we already know that they had shot 2 different sequences of the magic mirror. There is a series of footage that does exist on the cutting room floor that remained to the source material that was actually created by Mark Webb, the director. Looks like they chose to shoot with the gender-swapped version in the final cut. That's why it's going to be presented in the up-and-coming trailer. Makes you wonder, why is it necessary to do that? Well, because it's Disney. This is what they do. They like to swap, many different characters in whatever way possible. Whether it's gender-swapping or race-swapping, it doesn't matter. Disney loves to do this through and through. We have seen this time and time again with everything Marvel, with everything Disney live-action remakes in general, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, where never sticking to the source material is going to be a common theme by Disney. The thing about this is that they are treating the appearance of the 7 magical creatures down to a bare minimum. They don't want to put them up front and center, like right up to the camera in frame, because they know that it's going to get a lot of controversy. So it looks like that actually turned out to be true about a month ago when we were talking about this, that Disney did have this plan, or this emergency plan, to basically strip away as much shots or footage from the trailer that involves the 7 magical creatures, initially known as the 7 dwarfs. That will not be a main focus in this thing. They want to use as many obscure shots as possible where you kinda can't make out exactly what they look like in the distance. That's basically their plan right now, which is hence why they are seen in the distance running around in a circle, holding hands around a campfire. Again, this show, or should I say this movie, sounds like a terrible low-budget show, is what I meant to say, is that it really comes across like an independent film where it really just is a lot of low-budget shots that really make absolutely no sense. It has no, I guess you could say magic to it like Disney initially had with the animated films, but I would like to hear what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.